Hey everybody, Back to Monster here. Doing a medium level to high level build for Thing in Marvel Heroes. If you just happen to stumble across this and click it, Marvel Heroes is an action role-playing game, video game that's out. It's free to play. I actually was given the Ultimate Pack, which basically has all the characters currently and costumes, except for the two they just released, so I'm enjoying it. I went ahead and used a Raccoon device just so you can see how I spent the points, so I can show how the points were spent. Thing is definitely a tank type character. He's probably one of the better tanks in the game. The others being Hulk and Colossus as the standard tanks, and several other dodge type and defense type characters like Captain America and Deadpool, which could tank, I guess, but Thing and Colossus have taunts, which really make them stand out as a tank. Really helps in boss fights. And so I'm going to be addressing skills, the 6 skills that I deem important. You can choose whatever skills you like. These are the skills that I just think are most effective for tanking and actually solo play. Being able to tank and solo play kind of goes in hand, especially with an action RPG. So your ability to shrug off damage and cause damage come into play, and to be able to get all the enemy's attention. When you're solo, you obviously don't care about the attention. You have, no use for a taunt really. Although the taunt that I choose does lower the damage they deal, I don't put a lot of points into it. I only put 1 point in it so I can get all the attention. Usually things die too quickly or do too much damage for the damage reduction of the taunt to come in handy. As you can see, Thing here, he will max out in durability. Yeah, it's at level 50. He almost maxes out in strength, and he goes kind of high in fighting, which is handy for a tank, as you can see. And he's actually one of the smarter tanks. He gets XP bonuses. I'm going to go over the gear in a moment. I'm going to do stats first. So when we go to the powers, I've already used a retcon device, like I said. There are certain powers that just stand out to me, and the first being Aggressive Aura. To get Aggressive Aura, you have to spend a point in Guardian Aura. And you're probably going, well, why wouldn't you do Guardian Aura? Because that's defense bonus. Every point of Guardian Aura only does like 3 defense. It's a joke. That's nothing. You need 5 defense to prevent 1 point of damage. So you don't even get 1 point of damage reduction per point spent. However, with the Guardian, or the Aggressive Aura, I'll spend a point. It's not letting me spend it. Oh, I have to confirm. Cancel that. There's too many points up there. Go 1. There we go. You get 7 points of damage, basically, per point in Aggressive Aura. And it seems like it goes up, because I'm going to end up at 236 damage after I put all my points into there. Oh yeah, that's right. My armor also is providing bonuses. I'll get into armor and stats on armor in a second, as well as weaponry. So why I consider this the primary buff ability or aura power of Thing is because the rest of the team isn't going to get hit. If you are in a group of 4 or 5, you're in a 10-player raid, no one else is getting hit really. And if they get hit, what, 100 defense? What's that going to do for them? 20 points less? That's nothing. Your actual 1 point in Yancey Street taunt gets a minus 12 damage. So, dumping points in Guardian Aura at this moment is useless. However, 236 damage given to everybody, including yourself, is awesome. As soon as you get it, you want to build it up. You don't even have to build up your regular abilities. One of them is a priority of mine, but for the most part, Guardian Aura, awesome. 4 players in your groups getting extra damage as well as yourself. I mean, that's just the most group-friendly thing you got. Steadfast armor, aura, tenacity bonus, who cares? I don't think anybody really cares. You're the only one going to be getting hit. You're taunting everything. You already have tenacity. It's not a priority, that's for sure. And as far as teammate skills go, I do spend 1 point in the Yancey Street taunt so I can have it. At 1 point it's minus 12 damage dealt by the enemies, but it's more importantly it's only 10 spirit as opposed to bold challenge, which is 20 spirit. And for 3 seconds, if something hits you, you get a spirit back. That's not going to pay out like 10 spirit for a taunt. All you really care about is the taunt. You want everything coming at you. Most likely the little things are going to be wiped out by people in your group. You probably got a Cyclops. He's going to annihilate all the little white mobs. You're really only concerned with bosses and when they turn their attention away from you to other people in the group that are squishy and they will get killed, like say on Doom. Thing, any green version of Doom just stands there and tanks it. He's awesome, especially with this build. Any orange version of Doom can be tanked. Some can be problems, some can't be. Depends on the affixes attached to Doom. And I am only talking about Doom on the first terminal. So there's different terminals that you're going to be using. I'm going to go into how to use them in a moment too, after I go through gear. So far I haven't done Doom and Xavier School terminals. I've only done them on Avengers Tower terminals. There's also Helipad, or the Helicarrier terminals. Basically it's kind of like Nightmare, Hell, and Inferno from Diablo. Think of it that way. They just get harder, and all the mobs and all the bosses start getting more and more affixes or different types of special abilities added on to their already known abilities, like ignore defense, which for a reason I'll show you a little bit, you don't really care about. It doesn't matter. They can ignore all the defense they want, because we're not doing this aura, that's for sure. So those are going to be the teammate powers. Next, I'm going to go over to the rock pile powers. And this is really the bread and butter area. 4 of the 6 skills, I choose 6 because you get 120 skill points total, not including the extra bonus skill points you get for quests or anything else that you've done that said, hey, bonus skill point. But you do get 120 total points to spend. That you can spend up to 20 points in a skill. So you really have 6 skills that you can maximize. Then you can actually get another bonus of 20 points from gear and artifacts and modifications to go on top of that. So the maximum is 40, the maximum spent in the tree is 20 on any one skill. So the second priority I do is granite defense. I mean, it's just an obvious. First off, just having it up negates damage that you take by 50%. You're already taking half damage, and it's not a defense, so that even if they ignore defense, you still negate 50% of the damage being done. And then it absorbs damage. So of the negated damage that's being done, it can absorb up to a certain amount. So with 1 point, you get 250. We're going to want to maximize this. It's about 120 damage absorbed per point spent. Spend everything you can into it. Alright, so that's going to take me up to 19. I have bonuses from gear. 16 points spent, 3 from gear. Which is still 50% damage negated. That's never going to change, except I can absorb 2,380 damage. That's 4,760 damage that they have to do to drop the shield. The shield will now last a minute. It went from 7 seconds to a minute, and it only costs 33 spirit. It's by far the bread and butter skill, like I said. You can keep it up all the time. You have more than enough spirit. You don't really have any other spirit spenders besides Granite Defense and Yancey Street Taunt, and then there's one other, which is Clobbering Time, which is going to last a while too. You will regen all your spirit in no time. You do not need the bold challenge to make it happen, at least at this point in the game. Like I said, I'm only level 35. So granite defense is taking us to the next one, which is actually Fantastic Haymaker. You should always have that up. You have to spend 1 point in Bruising Punch, and then you can spend points in Fantastic Haymaker. It's a higher level skill, so I can only put 7 points into it. And it's going to do a damage reduction. Every enemy hit by the Fantastic Haymaker, which is a small area effect. You can hit 2 to 3 targets with this, and they will do 280 damage less. So it's got a nice little debuff that goes on it, and it does 350 to 498 damage. Doesn't sound like a lot, but don't forget you're about to add 236 damage on top of that damage. That's not being calculated yet. Again, why this aggressive aura is awesome, especially lower levels. You can build up your defenses and still put points in this, and instead of dumping points into all your punches will start doing more damage, and you still get the points to spend in your defense. So that's going to take us to the 4th priority, which is Hard as a Rock. That's your basic defensive buff. You don't really get a lot from it. It starts at 12, and you get like 6 a point, 6 defense. So every point is giving you 1 less damage that you're taking. Not a lot, but by the time you end up dumping all your points into it, which you can dump a lot early, it ends up being effectively another piece of armor. 214 defense. It helps a little bit. You can definitely shy points away from that if there's something else you want. There's nothing else I really want with this build, so that's what I did. And then another great spell, Clobbering Time. You click it for 7 seconds, you do an extra 60 damage on top of the damage you're already doing. And as you spend points into it, it lasts longer. So at this point it's lasting 14 seconds, and it's another 127 damage. Just great for bosses. That's the only time you're really going to hit it. When you come up against a boss, you open up with Granite Defense, you hit Clobbering Time, and you just start Fantastic Haymakering them. Everybody else is going to kill them anyways. If you're solo, it's going to die in no time because you're doing so much damage. I mean, let's see, minimal damage of 570 and 690, 700 minimal damage on just a regular basic attack. It's phenomenal. And it's going to leave us to our last skill that we actually spend points in. And before I do that, I'm going to put 1 point in Crashing Leap. It's a mobile skill. This lets you jump almost anywhere. As long as there's a way to get to it on screen, it will let you jump over obstacles. You can jump over things being shot at you. You can jump over tons of stuff. So I use that as my primary right-hand button. If I have to get somewhere and I'm frozen, I click it. It's great. And the other skill that I use is Jagged Defender. What it does is it starts reflecting damage back to enemies. So for 1 point you get 50% of the damage done to you reflected back at the enemy. It's extra damage. And at 8 ranks with my skill, it's 109%. I'm actually doing more damage back to them than they're doing to me. Awesome skill. And that rounds out the tree. I don't spend any points anywhere else. Any other things that you see there are because there's plus current skill bonuses from armor. I found a character, by the way, so that's why Pulverizing Fury is at number 2. You can't spend points in this. If you find a character token and it's your character, if you right click it, it ups, well, at level 30, you have to wait till you're level 30, and you get your character special skill, it ups the rank. It doesn't do a phenomenal amount for a character drop, so that's kind of sad. Hopefully they increase the bonus that you get sometime, but I wouldn't expect it anytime soon. So there you go. I've committed to all my points. I'm going to put Fantastic Haymaker here as my primary left button. You can also left click here and it brings up anything that can be a left click. You can right click here and it brings up anything that can be a right click. I use my Get Me Out of Here spell. I do group a lot, so I have Yancey Street up on my bar. I already had Clobbering Time on my bar, and then I put my Granite Defense. And if you can't tell, I usually keep my index finger number 4, middle finger number 3, ring finger number 2, or I'm sorry, index finger number 5, middle finger number 4, ring finger number 3, and I can use my ring finger to hit my Talisman of Hoggoth, which is an artifact which gives me 3 seconds invulnerability and 100 life back. I don't really care about the 100 life, but it also deals 50 energy damage to an attacker when I'm hit, and it gives me those little glowy effects that you see spinning around my character. It's very good, very good tank artifact. Highly recommended. So you always want to keep your Granite Defense up. And do I need anything else out here? I feel like I'm forgetting to put something here. Just don't know what. You can spend points into these hold the button down and take a lot less damage spells. I found no need for it yet. Maybe it pays out high end, I don't know. Hindering Hide, yeah, you know, they hit you, they get minus 20% attack speed. I guess that's nice. You can put a point in it. At 8 points, it's only minus 30% attack speed, so I don't know. I guess it could pay out. That's up to you. I found no use for it. I'm getting it from a stat on an armor. So those glowy effects that I was talking about. I also have smoke on my character's costume. And going into skills and artifacts, my favorite artifact for tanking is this talisman, because every 30 seconds you get 3 seconds of invulnerability. I'm using the Juggernaut medallion, which has a 4% chance to proc 4 seconds of invulnerability. It also has 222 health and 420 defense and +1 to all my powers. That's a standard medallion for greens. Green terminals. The 4% chance, it actually goes off a lot because you're taunting everything and everything's hitting on you, so you just get a ton of attacks in. The other one I found awesome tank is the Starstone Tooth. If you get it, use it for things, save it for a tank. Unless you're dead positive you're going to be a DPS, and then you can go ahead and put it on your DPS. But it gives, this one's giving me 5.5% dodge chance. Nice as a tank. 340 health. Nice as a tank. And what is awesome is the 11% chance to regenerate 240 health when I hit. Phenomenal. I mean, 1 in 10 hits. I can hit 2 to 3 times a swing. I'm getting 240 health. That's a lot of health. Right now that is about 5% of my health. So that comes in really, really nice. Costume choices. I keep getting base health for the costume upgrades. So I just roll with it. That's 24% extra health. It can't hurt. On a weapon, all your abilities, every single one of them does physical damage. So you're going to want to look for something that has plus physical damage and regular damage. Attack speed like this one doesn't hurt. More importantly, +1 to current rank of all things rock pile powers. I mean, that's phenomenal. You got 4 primary skills in rock pile. So I mean, that's awesome. 7% chance to burn, it doesn't matter. What you really want is some kind of defense penetration for basic powers, because your primary attack is always going to be a basic power on this build. So regular damage, physical damage, attack speed, always good. These 2 pieces here, for whatever slot you want to call it, You know, chest armor and belts, they seem to be the same throughout most characters. Anything that gives you the best benefit, you know, health, like this one's plus spirit. I really don't need plus spirit. It's the minus 8% spirit cost to rock pile powers that I kind of like, and really the 8% power duration, because granite defense has a duration, so does clobbering time. Looks like I have to re-drag it onto the action bar. Glad I figured that out now. Clobbering time has a duration, so that's going to give me a lot of duration and defense. 20% of your defense is what you negate for damage being dealt. Belts tend to have dodge, so you can get more dodge if you're incorporating it with this Starstone Tooth. That's going to give you a good chunk of dodge. Right now I got 7.7% chance to dodge. As a tank, you're taunting everything, everything's attacking you. You know, 7% of those attacks are ignored. This is what's giving me the hindering hide, so it's kind of useful, but it's also got pretty good defense to it. And that's really all it's good for. That's definitely something I'm looking to upgrade. The pants or boots on some characters, pants on other characters, and offhand or helmets for some characters. Other characters, they're like weapons. It's basically these last two slots on the bottom are the two slots that can have special item find on it. They can also have drop rarity boost on it. They can also have credits per drop on them. Depending on your kind of play, which is really going to be based on your type of an account. If you're free to play, if you bought a pack, a promotional pack, or if you got all of the characters, if you got the ultimate pack, it could change. You know, if you already have all the characters, and the fact that extra characters really aren't doing much for you, you know, they give you 20 seconds off your primary ability that takes 20 minutes to regroup. Not that special. You might want to go with all drop rarity boost instead of special item find. Because if you take a look at the stats that you're going to have to choose from, right now I got a ton of special item find. Increase the chance to find costumes, heroes, and fortune cards. Fortune cards are pretty cool to find. Bosses only drop special items the first time you defeat them each day. That's because there's a bonus to them. So you want to kill as many bosses as you can a day. So if you're free to play, or if you just bought a couple characters, or you bought a pack that had 3 or 4 characters on it, you're probably going to want to go with special item find, open up some other characters, and get some costumes coming in. The fortune cards that you find usually they can hand out artifacts, they can hand out anything. If you're an ultimate pack owner, you probably want to go with item rarity instead, because that increases the chance to find artifacts and rare gear and weapons. So you'll find more blue items, you'll find more purple items, you'll find more orange items. You know, rare, artifacts, and epic items. And that's really it. Plus credits are handy if you're going to credit farm. At 30, credits get a little skimpy. They don't really drop too often. I'm already at Xavier's school, so I'm ready to do some runs.